The Triumph and Tragedy of Harry Haft. Harry Haft was a survivor of unspeakable conditions, being forced to fight, escaping, and making a success of himself in the United States. And this is his story. Throughout the 1930s, the German government passed laws to exclude Jews from society. The most recognized of these laws were the Nuremberg laws. These laws enforced that Jews couldn't marry Germans and were not accepted as citizens, but instead as state subjects. In Adolf Hitler's speech in the Reichstag on the Nuremberg laws, he states that the legal regulation of the problem of Jews in Germany was the only way to stop the defensive actions of the enraged population. After Germans invaded Poland in 1939, the Nazi Party established camps, ghettos, and other detention areas. Harry spent time in 6 of these camps, including Poznan, Strzelecin, Auschwitz, Duranzo, Flossenburg, and Gross-Rosen.
He survived nearly 5 years in 6 or 7 different slave labor and extermination camps. That's an ungodly amount of time, to have that experience.
At these camps, Harry experienced many tragedies. When he was captured and taken away, he didn't know if he would ever see his family again. In the camps, he was deprived of food and water. He was beaten, forced to march and work, and witnessed many others around him being beaten or killed. After weeks of suffering, he met a man named Schneider. The man secretly fed Harry until he was strong once again. Once this happened, Schneider told Harry that he would box for the Nazis' entertainment. Harry was given no gloves or protection unless it was freezing cold. Harry fought men who were all close to dead. At the end of each fight, the loser of the match would be sent directly to an extermination camp.
His experience in the camps were that he was forced to fight bare-knuckle fights, and in the winter sometimes he got winter gloves. But they were not boxing matches like some of the boxing matches that were held at the Auschwitz main camp. These boxing matches took place in a sub-camp, which was a coal mine north of Auschwitz called Jaworzno, and they were not really boxing matches. They were kind of like the gladiators. The winner survived, and the loser did not survive.
Eventually, on one forced march, Harry escaped, was on the run from the Nazis, and never had to be in the camps again. Harry was able to survive throughout the Holocaust because of his fighting ability. This small triumph paved the way for him to win the Amateur Jewish Heavyweight Championship in January of 1946.
I was the European champion.
When did you start boxing?
I boxed in concentration camp.
In Auschwitz?
Yeah, in Auschwitz and in Jaworzno.
When presented with the championship trophy, Harry asked General Lucius Clay, "Can you help me get to America?" The general responded, "What about your family?" Harry replied, "There's no one left. There is nothing for me here." In 1948, after sending a letter to his uncle, Harry came to the United States on the Marine Marlin, his dream to become a prize fighter. Harry won his first 12 bouts, before eventually losing to a more experienced fighter.
So he never really learned to box. It was kind of ghoulish, gladiatorial type battles. And when he came to America, his first few fights, he was able to survive on his fighting ability alone, but as he moved along to face more experienced and skilled boxers, that's when he was not able to be successful.
His final match was a loss to the great Rocky Marciano, a fighter that would later go on to have an undefeated professional boxing career. Although Harry was never a professional boxing champion in the US, he was still able to live out his dream. A phrase that he once said to his aunt after she tried to talk him out of boxing: "After all I've been through, what harm can a man with gloves on his hands do to me?" This quote by Harry shows a man that has lived through one of the worst tragedies in history and triumphed during and after it. Harry Haft was a survivor of unspeakable conditions, being forced to fight, escaping, and eventually making a success of himself in the United States.